give the Bhagavad Gita, right? So we see that in the two different appearances, there's different purposes. But essentially, what happened is after Krishna came, then there was a slow degradation of the spiritual principles. So Mahaprabhu comes to reestablish them. And what's amazing about what Mahaprabhu came is that he came as a devotee, right? And so Krishna himself is coming as a devotee. What does devotee mean? Devotee means Vaidhi Bhakti. It means we have to follow rules and regulations, right? That's actually the meaning. Mahaprabhu could have came and just practice Raganuga style bhakti, which is just spontaneous love, right? But no, he actually came to practice the ABCs, the basic principles for us to see. So I think I always think about this point, and it's like amazing to see that God himself, Krishna, came to show us every step of the way, how to live as a devotee, how to live as a living entity. And so Mahaprabhu's main philosophy that he propagated is the principle of Achinta Bheda Bheda. And so what that means is that the Lord is simultaneously at the same time one, but different than the creation of the universe. And so a very simple example I like to think about Achinta Bheda is that many times, let's say we'll be in a room in our room at our home, and we'll call out and we'll say, the sun is in the room, right? The sun from the sky is in the room. But actually not the sun is in the room, the sun rays are in the room, right? If the sun itself was in the room, the whole house would burn down because it's so hot. But the sun rays are actually in the room, right? So similarly, that you can't say that the sun rays and the sun are they're the same, but it's different, right? Because one is providing the energy and one is the energy, right? The energetic and the energy, right? So it's a very simple example. If we just look at the sun and the simple example of the sun, we can actually understand what is simultaneously one, but different at the same time. And so Mahaprabhu, how did he actually show this? What was his practical way of demonstrating it? He did this by giving the holy name, because it's understood that the holy name it is a sound vibration of the Lord. And so that if Krishna or Mahaprabhu, or if Krishna is the absolute whole, that the sound vibration is also the direct way for us to interact with Krishna in this specific age, right? So the sound vibration, if we consider that if Krishna is the whole and the sound vibration is the representation of Krishna, that they're actually one and the same. But the sound is actually energy, right? So similarly, the rays is the energy from the sun, but they're still one and the same. So that's how Mahaprabhu actually displayed this actual Achinta Bheda principle through actually the sharing of the holy name. And so just to, we'll end soon, but just on a couple things to end, is that Mahaprabhu, his prediction, what is Mahaprabhu's famous prediction? Prite vite ache yata nagari gram, sarvatra prachara habe morinam. So what Mahaprabhu is saying, this is in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, in the Antya 4:126. In as many towns and villages as there are on the surface of the earth, my holy name will be preached. And so how did this actually manifest? Right? This is actually through Srila Prabhupada in a very very practical way that we can see, right? And for those of it that actually don't know the reference for Prabhupada, the actual reference to Prabhupada in the Shastra is in the Brahma Vavaita Purana. And what happens is that Krishna is actually talking to Ganga Devi 5,000 years ago. And he said that in this conversation, he says that in this age of Kali Yuga, my mantra upasaka will come. So mantra upasaka specifically means the great sage and worshipper of Krishna's holy name will appear and spread this chanting of the holy name. So we actually see that in the Shastra, Krishna specifically identifies in the age of Kali the mantra upasaka, and we can practically see that this actually manifested not even from Srila Prabhupada's guru, Simha Guru, not even from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but from Srila Prabhupada, right? So think about that's his position. That so many great people came before him, and Prabhupada actually was the one who took it all over the world. It's not a small thing. It's a really, really big deal. And one of the things that we should also meditate on, this is something that I try to, it's a very high instruction to live by, but one that always will keep us very careful in our spiritual life. But Mahaprabhu, specifically his instruction for all of us is, Yara Deka Tara Kara Krishna Upadesha, Amara Agyana Guru Hana Tara Desh, right? So he says, my orders for all of you to become spiritual master, all of you to become guru, right? And so, if you think about it, in this actual, for Mahaprabhu to say that in this age of Kali, where in the Shastra, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says at best, the entities of the age of Kali, they'll be Shudra at best. But even he's saying, for all of these living entities, he's saying, no. He says, you also become guru, right? So that's actually Mahaprabhu's instruction for all of us. It doesn't matter if you're mom or dad, brother or sister, whatever position you may have in life. No, we all actually, what that actually means is that first we have to actually take up the process, purify ourselves, and then we can try to help and assist others, right? So that instruction is there, right from Mahaprabhu's words, that we should also try to take up the responsibility of trying to help Mahaprabhu and help Prabhupada in this mission. Should we end? Yes? Okay, so on that note, we will end. I wanted to read the Shikshashtakam, which is the 8 verses that Mahaprabhu left, but we will save that for another day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.